What's up, guys? It's the Four Horsemen Fantasy Football Podcast, aka the Three Amigos Podcast. With me tonight, I got Alex Deviney Stoner and Brent Walker. How are you guys?
Van Cleve is dead. We're just
not really. No, not really.
But Van Cleve, we don't know what has happened to him. He said that he was ill. I'm assuming it's some sort of like fecal matter disease. You can only assume.
Yes. He is I don't even know what he really is, what his job title is.
Nobody knows.
Crap shoveler.
Yeah.
Fertilizer pro. I don't know what he does, but he deals with a lot of crap. Literally, not figuratively. But he wasn't able to make it tonight, which unfortunately we're used to. We would love to have him, but we're going to roll on with just the three of us. We are actually going to do a mock draft this episode, so it should be really fun. We're going to use the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard app. So, what it does is it takes a consensus of a bunch of experts' rankings, and it uses those to simulate a real draft we've listened to it on other podcasts before too. It's a really great program. You can run through tons and tons of mock drafts every offseason without having to get into Yahoo and having, the first guy bail. So you're really just going off Yahoo ADPs. This at least takes all of those into considerations and makes it a lot better. I know, Brent, you've used it in the past as well. You enjoy using it?
I really do, yeah. It's a real quick and easy way for you to knock out 3 or 4 or 5 mock drafts within probably 15, 20 minutes. You can have whole teams, whole simulations done, and you're making picks on the fly as you go. So it's a real quick, simple way of using mock drafts, I think.
Right. And I'm going to screen share it. So on our YouTube page, you will be able to see it on there if you want to get on and actually look at that. But without further ado, I say we get right into it.
Can you scroll down just a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm only seeing 3 guys.
Oh yeah. No, I'll talk about it too. So it's only going to show you 4, but I'll get down to the other page. We are going to have the 10th pick. We decided we wanted to find one that was going to be a little bit more difficult, not your average draft position, drafting from the 101 or the 102. We are going to have it set up as a 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, no flex, tight end, 1 defense, 1 kicker, and 6 bench spots. So obviously we'll do the whole draft. We'll leave our defense and kicker till the last 2 picks because they're pretty much worthless anyways.
It's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, right. But we'll go through. We should, like you said, we should be able to knock out this draft pretty quick. What we'll do is we'll talk about each pick that we're going to make. We'll kind of discuss it.
I'm excited right off the bat that we're going to discuss Alvin Kamara.
You like that?
Not from because hot take right now, you draft Alvin Kamara in the first round, you will not make the playoffs.
Ugh, that's bold.
That is my hot take.
I didn't say it, but we are doing a 12-team draft, so it will be 12 picks. It's a snake draft. We'll go all the way through. Before we get into it, hop on Twitter, follow us, 4 Horsemen Pod. Get on, send us emails, 4horsemenpod@gmail.com. We're out there. I've gained a few followers, so I appreciate the love, but we could definitely use a few more. And now that it's almost June, it's kind of the slowest period. OTAs are starting. And we're seeing a lot of mock or a lot of dynasty drafts right now. People are starting to do a few more mocks. So now's the time to really be preparing. We are still planning on doing our rookie wide receiver show. I don't know why we just can't get on board for it. It's just not as much fun as talking about mocks and talking about running backs. But we will be doing one here very, very shortly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at this draft that we're going to be doing. The first 9 picks are already in. Antonio Brown, Todd Gurley, David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, then DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham, Keenan Allen at the 108, and Julio Jones at the 109.
Keenan Allen at 108.
Whew. Yeah, that's crazy. So
okay, real quick, would either one of you select Keenan Allen over Julio Jones?
No.
Yeah.
Not in a million years.
Would anybody select Hopkins over Odell Beckham?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I would.
That's interesting.
Why?
No, honestly, I don't think I don't. I have literally no. I don't care. So I guess like when I'm looking at it, and the fact I'm like, oh well, everybody's just in love with Odell Beckham. I'm not going to own him. I'm not going to have Hopkins because I'm not going to draft a wide receiver in the first damn round because I think that's crazy. However, I am shocked that both of you, without like any real hesitation, why do you think that? What's the driving force on that?
Brent, you can go ahead and answer first.
I mean, I think just target share alone. I know they both get pretty high target share, but I mean, DeAndre Hopkins was able to do it with every quarterback imaginable last year. Even after Deshaun Watson got hurt, like he was still putting up touchdowns on a weekly basis. He had a huge touchdown total last year that might not be replicable, but I mean, Odell Beckham coming off of an injury, it might be just that recency bias for me, but I just prefer Hopkins right now because of his target share and touchdown volume.
Yeah, there's still just that unknown with me with Beckham. Like,
yep,
he just makes me nervous. Like, he scares me.
Plus, they brought in Saquon Barkley, so I'm kind of debating maybe they run the ball a lot more. Maybe Odell Beckham doesn't quite get that target share this year.
He's still super talented. You can't argue that. And like, if somebody wanted to take Beckham over Hopkins, it's not like I would be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that." It's definitely something you could see happening. But I kind of tend to lean Alex's side too. Like, I don't like going wide receiver in the first round, even in a full point PPR. It doesn't make me feel good. No, so, especially if I start off with Keenan Allen with the 108, like I would feel automatically like I should just quit my draft. But so at the 110, Alex, looking at the running backs there, that's where you're leaning.
I honestly, I mean, I think everybody knows where I'm going to be going, and that's Barkley. Like I know that's the risky pick, but if I'm really looking at it, I was like, okay, Kamara, we're looking at the first year. We're looking at a team that usually doesn't run the ball that often. And then we're also looking at a guy that was only really good at the end of the season. And then we're looking at Kareem Hunt, who was only really good at the beginning of the season and then had a couple of good games at the end of the season. You have a new quarterback in town. Who knows how that's going to shake up? Barkley is basically the Ezekiel Elliott of this season.
Yeah.
I want Barkley. But I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but what are you guys thinking?
Brent?
I mean, I love getting Alvin Kamara in the second round in early mock drafts, but then Mark Ingram got suspended for 4 games. So I instantly put Alvin Kamara up a couple more spots just because of that very reason. I think he's appropriately ranked here as probably the 5th or 6th best running back on the board. After, the main top 4 guys, Bill Gurley, David Johnson, and Zeke. But I like Alex's opinion on this. Saquon Barkley, he could be touching this ball 300 to 350 times this year, and he's huge in PPR. He's one of the best pass-catching backs to come out of the draft in a long time. And while I like Kamara, I tend to lean Barkley on this pick as well.
Yeah. You don't think that there's any chance Barkley makes it back around with it being at the 10?
Honestly, I would rather chance getting Kamara or Hunt swinging back around than it's like the guy that you want versus the guy that maybe would end up being better, which Kamara is ranked higher. You're kind of looking at him as maybe a feature back at least for the first 4 weeks. But I just don't think that Barkley is coming back around. Yeah. So I'm leaning Barkley.
And honestly, I agree with you guys too. I think that that's the right pick. I would take Barkley probably, if it was me, up at the 106, I think is
Yeah.
the earliest I would draft him.
Mm-hmm.
But I take him right after Antonio. But I don't know. Maybe the 105, to be completely honest, because I almost draft him over Antonio Brown. I love Brown, great wide receiver. I don't think he should be the 101, even in a full PPR. I just don't.
When you're looking at it, it's like, can you get a wide receiver that is 75% as good as Antonio Brown? Maybe. Coming around at 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you can get anywhere near the production of a bell cow running back.
Yeah. All right, let's take Barkley and see what happens afterwards, because I find it, I don't know, because I like to start out my drafts with going a running back and a wide receiver, and I think that the wide receivers are going to be pretty depleted after that. But Barkley is just such an otherworldly talent.
Yeah. I mean, we're probably going to be dead wrong. He's going to be the worst.
Right? It wouldn't anything could happen. All right, so after Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas went with the 12, Dalvin Cook with the turn, and Melvin Gordon. So 4 straight running backs. After that, so
just like what you were saying. Now, personally, I would probably grab Hunt here, but I want to go. Let's go with Romine's thought process of grabbing that wide receiver. I don't think that you did anything wrong by getting an Evans. Honestly, I love Evans. I love him this year because I think that there was just some turmoil last year with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has only gotten better. And I'm loving him this year. So I don't know. What are you thinking, Brent?
Brent, are you there? You're not making any noise.
Yep, not anything. What who knows what happened to Brent? We lost. I mean, you're there, Brent.
We can see
you. We just can't hear you.
Okay, well, so evidently Brent's opinion is not going to matter until he gets started.
Do Romine, do you disagree with Mike Evans on this? Like AJ Green to me is like the boring safe pick.
Yeah, like Mike Evans is definitely the upside.
Is kind of low.
Yeah, I don't know if his ceiling's low. I think AJ Green has been like very consistent.
Yeah,
he is amazing, and this is a redraft league, so we don't really need to worry about the dynasty aspect of it.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. There's just something that bores me about AJ Green. I don't know what my problem is.
Yeah.
I mean, 75 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. That's solid.
Mm-hmm.
But see, there's the thing is that he just crossed over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like, just barely made it. I just feel like his floor is pretty high, but his ceiling is lower.
Sure.
I don't know.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. He is like, he's a safe pick. I tend to agree with you, Alex, and I find myself drafting Mike Evans late in those turn picks coming back because I think that he has a real shot at being, up there with DeAndre Hopkins and Beckham and Thomas and all those guys. What do you think about Devontae Adams? He's a guy that's really caught on a lot of hype, just based off last year being attached to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact is that any player that is attached to Aaron Rodgers is gonna get a lot of hype. We lost. I almost said Jarvis Landry. God, can you imagine if Jarvis Landry would have? Anyway, I just lost his name. What is his name?
Who are you talking about? What team?
Raiders. He's to the Raiders now.
Amari Cooper? No. Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson. Gosh,
white guy.
The loss of Jordy Nelson, which doesn't necessarily it wasn't necessarily like a huge loss as far as production, but you are taking away a number one that kind of pulled coverage. So now Davante Adams is the guy. There's nothing else really around him. Let's face it. Cobb, who cares? So, I mean, I am one of those guys that am a little nervous about Adams. I understand why people love him, but I've seen Mike Evans be amazing consistently and just have a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I would take Mike Evans here. Brent, are you back yet? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Did you get to hear? You got to hear our whole spiel, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. What do you think?
What are we talking about?
So we just turned. So obviously we took Barkley, and then the running backs went right afterwards. And I would like to go wide receiver here in this full point PPR league, because I think that the difference once it gets back to us again is going to be so huge. We're really discussing between AJ Green, Davante Adams, and Mike Evans. I feel like that's kind of the tier.
Yeah. AJ Green had a down year last year. I love the hype that Davante Adams is getting, but Mike Evans, I feel like, has the higher ceiling out of those three. But he also, like, if he can get back to that target share like he had a couple of years ago, oh my gosh, when Jameis Winston threw to him, I think it was like 15 times a game or something like that. I would love for him to get back to that, but I think their offense is just going to be a lot more balanced in Tampa Bay this year. I don't know. I lean Mike Evans out of those three, but then I see Kareem Hunt and Leonard Fournette there on the board too, and I'm just what kind of start? Yeah, you could have a start in a 12-team snake draft PPR. I mean, Kareem Hunt and Saquon Barkley, or even Leonard Fournette and Saquon Barkley. I'm just like, oh, that sounds sexy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, when you pair Barkley up with Fournette, that really gets me excited. Like, that sounds like a killer start to a team.
Because the way I look at it is Saquon Barkley could act as part of your number one wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
Because of his PPR ability. You don't know that for sure because he's a rookie, but at the same time, you're basing that on his skill set. That's why I like almost going running back here, because even Kareem Hunt, he had a ton of receptions last year too. Yeah. Leonard Fournette, I mean, he still had like 30-plus catches last year. I mean, he wasn't like ignored in the passing game. So I completely get where you're coming from, is getting a wide receiver here, because that kind of talent won't be here when it comes back around to us.
Yeah. But this is a mock. Like, that's what's fun about it. I'm down to do it. And another cool thing that the Draft Wizard does that you can see over there, it has like the experts pick. It gives you like a percentage of what, like, the likelihood of like them agreeing with your pick. And they agree that Kareem Hunt is probably the best choice there. And if it was me drafting, I would take Mike Evans. If you guys want, though, I'm totally cool taking Kareem Hunt and seeing what wide receiver comes back to us.
Who do you pick, Brent? Because personally, I would go Fournette.
See, I lean Hunt slightly more. Okay. It's not much, but I don't mind taking Fournette, but I slightly think Hunt just because of his PPR upside too.
I mean, honestly, I'm still jacked. Like, I wish this was a real team.
All right,
if I Alex, could get these two guys, oh my God, I would just be.
Alex, make the pick. Tell me which one, Hunt or Fournette.
Let's go Hunt.
Right.
Brent says Hunt. I'm down with Hunt.
All right, so we took Hunt. This is the fun part, seeing like who all goes, because it's
honestly, I'm a little shocked that Hunt went after Dalvin Cook.
Really?
You're talking about a guy in Dalvin Cook. I mean, I'm an owner of Dalvin Cook, and I love Dalvin Cook, but I'm a little shocked to see guys like Fournette. And I understand that you've got the PPR stuff going on, but I'm a little shocked that guys like that are going after a guy that tore his ACL just a few games in. You know what I mean? Like that.
Man.
I don't know.
I saw Josh Gordon went above all 3 wide receivers we were just talking about.
Yeah, that's insane. It ended up being like right after we took Hunt, Fournette went the immediate pick afterwards, and then Josh Gordon, like you said, went before all 3. The Mike Evans, then AJ Green, then Devontae Adams in that order. But it ended up being LaShawn McCoy went, Gronk went. We lost Jordan Howard, Amari Cooper, Travis Kelce, Doug Baldwin, Christian McCaffrey, Adam Thielen, Larry Fitzgerald.
I was really hoping Thielen was going to come back to us.
Yeah, I did not think Thielen would make it back. He's going early. His hype's really big right now.
Yeah, it is.
Ageless Wonder, Larry Fitzgerald. Zach Ertz went with the 306. That's early. T.Y. Hilton, Alshon Jeffrey, and Golden Tate.
Those 3 that just went. T.Y. at 3.7, Jeffrey at 3.8, then Tate at 3.9, and all we have left looking at this is Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, and Demaryius Thomas. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the bad thing about that is it recommends us taking Tyreek Hill, but we just took Kareem Hunt, and I don't want both guys on my team.
Here's the worst part. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, Joe Mixon?
Yeah. Devontae Freeman's still there too in a PPR league. Like,
this just in. Hunter Henry tore his ACL.
What? No.
Ouch.
No. Oh, that's breaking news.
The saddest thing,
guys.
ever.
Oh,
Hey, big prayers up to Hunter Henry. Hope he recovers quickly. That is really, really, really unfortunate.
Oh gosh, he's top 5, honestly.
Yeah,
I think he could be top 5 or could have been top 5.
Tight end position just got a little weaker.
Oh
yeah, no doubt.
Oh God. All right. Well, that's really depressing. Let's not get away from the draft though. So that's really
like I agree. I don't want 2 Chiefs. Tyreek Hill is like, to me, a poor man's Deshaun Jackson.
I mean, Allen Robinson's still out there.
Yeah. So, like, wide receiver,
he might come back around to us also.
Oh, it very easily could. Like, we're looking at Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Demaryius Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Juju Smith-Schuster. This is like,
I don't like taking. I don't like Diggs. He just gets hurt too often. Demaryius feels like he's old, even though he's not.
I like Diggs, just not as a wide receiver 1.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really like him as a 2 either.
Really?
He's just hurt too often. I can't trust him. I would lean Robinson, but but like, I'm looking at that, and the only thing that's sticking out is like Joe Mixon. I want Joe.
And we don't have a
problem with that. Is you wouldn't be able to start him.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I'm looking at that and like, I mean, do we have to go Hill in this point? I mean, because I feel like we're overdrafting anyone other than Tyreek Hill.
I feel kind of the same way. If we take Tyreek Hill, I feel like these wide receivers could make it right back around to us.
I mean, so don't feel like you have to do anything when you're drafting. You know what I mean? Like, don't make a bad pick just because of it. Flip side of, the bad part of having Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill could be the good part that, Patrick Mahomes is going to open up that offense. He should be throwing it deep. Alex Smith last year was a great deep ball thrower, and we saw how well that worked out for both, Hunt and Hill last year. If they continue throwing the ball deep, which they might not have done if they kept Alex Smith, like, I could see a situation where Tyreek Hill it ends up being a wide receiver 1.
But I don't doubt that. What I am worried about is I think that he's one of those kind of players that's going to post a stat line of like 7 catches, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then the next week, 3 for 8, 0 touchdowns.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's the kind of player he is, because that was like what it was to have Deshaun Jackson. And I don't think that he's as good as Deshaun Jackson. However, I don't like taking players out of turn. You're talking about don't feel like you're forced to take a player. But in this case, in this scenario, where we're only starting 2 running backs, I feel like I am forced to take Tyreek Hill here, because if I don't take him here, I'm going to end up being saddled with looking at Stephon Diggs again.
And you don't want to do that?
And I don't want to look at Stephon Diggs again.
So, well, what if you had a Joe Mixon here at that pick, and then it comes back around and you have to choose Stephon Diggs or Allen Robinson? Would you feel happier having Mixon and a Robinson, or Mixon and Diggs?
I mean, I would be happy with starting the draft with 8 running backs.
I know you would.
So I know that we don't.
I feel like we need to go, for the sake of this podcast, I feel like we have to go wide receiver right now.
You don't give any thought to drafting Aaron Rodgers? I know we don't get quarterbacks early.
No,
I don't think so.
You don't even consider it.
Let an inexperienced player draft a quarterback in the first 6 rounds. Just let them do that and waste.
If Aaron Rodgers falls to the 5th, I'd probably start considering it.
If a quarterback that's elite like that falls to 5th or 6th, okay, you can start thinking about it. But do not draft quarterbacks in those first few rounds. You're just screwing up your team.
All right, let's go Tyreek Hill.
Okay,
sound good? All right, let's take Tyreek Hill and see what we end up having to work with. Because
I'm assuming we're going to have to look at. I'm kind of hoping that Allen Robinson's still there and we can snag him up.
That's kind of what I'm hoping too, or Jarvis Landry even.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry.
PPR.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Jarvis Landry.
What?
I know, like, I don't know, just the new system, it makes me nervous.
You've been first off, you not only Jarvis Landry, but you have your Messiah throwing to him.
Yeah, I do love that.
Players like,
you're not wrong. Hell, hey, look at that. Jarvis Landry, Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson went. So we're left looking at Stephon Diggs, Demaryius Thomas. That's and Aaron Rodgers.
I don't want Stephon Diggs. I mean, make a case for me. If you are a Stephon Diggs truther right now, make a case.
He will give you probably about 4 games where you're just like, whoa, 150 to 200 yards. I mean, but that's all you're getting pretty much. I feel like his floor isn't that big, but his ceiling, you get 4 games a season.
Roman, can you give me the wide receivers here?
Yeah, absolutely. And Brent, like, I get that, but I think what everybody's really thinking Stephon Diggs is going to do is break out at some point. Like, this is his 4th year, right? Coming in?
Yeah.
And a new quarterback, which I think will be a better quarterback than he's had in the past. So
okay, I am on the Juju train. I didn't want him as a number 1. I'm totally fine with him as a number 2.
Yeah,
I like Juju has a very I see him having high floor and high ceiling, whereas Diggs is high ceiling, bottom, like won't play.
Yeah, I don't know. You're judging that off of 1 year of Juju, so I get it though. Like,
I understand that, but you look at number 2s in Pittsburgh. They usually put up really high numbers. That's why they end up going and getting insane contracts and sucking butt, I guess, I don't know, to try to keep this clean. Not being very good and other teams, but they always end up getting that big contract because they're so good in that system. And Big Ben's a big reason for that. So I think that Juju is a good, solid number 2, whereas Stephon Diggs, we have to draft another player to be our wide receiver 2 on the weeks he's not there.
Yeah. I don't know. Brent, what do you think?
I worry a little more about Juju. They did to spend a second round draft pick on James Washington, who I think was over. He was taking over the spot for Martavis Bryant after they traded him. I agree. Juju is going to have his big weeks. I don't know about his floor really. I still lean Diggs over Juju a little bit more, but I still see Mixon out there.
I know.
I think Devontae Freeman's still out there.
The problem is Brent and I are just
Derrick Henry
running back like gurus that we always see are the running backs. That's just what we see.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm looking and saying Derrick Henry's going to make it to the 4th round. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm stuck, Roman. You're kind of.
I'm pretty stuck too. You're going to pick this, Roman.
Yep.
Well, I think I'm gonna go Stephon Diggs because I like Stephon Diggs' upside if he stays healthy in that new offense with Kirk Cousins.
There's no talk of Demaryius at all. No one's.
I'm not interested actually.
Yeah, I'm not either. I have no interest at all.
And I actually traded for Demaryius in our dynasty league in the offseason, and I'm not in love with it either. But I do love Stephon Diggs. The possibility that he turns into an upper echelon wide receiver, I think the possibility is there. I like him being paired with Kirk Cousins. I think that he's better than Adam Thielen, and Adam Thielen's going to get drafted way earlier.
Stephon Diggs is better than Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen just stays on the field.
Yeah.
Stephon
Diggs missed 3 games last year.
Huh?
Stephon Diggs missed 3 games last year.
Okay. He only misses a few games, but whatever the injury is, it usually drags on and causes issues.
Yeah, and he had the good playoffs, which is another reason people, are remembering that.
This is drafting tight ends a lot.
Yeah, Evan Ingram went, which nuts. Right after us ended up being Joe Mixon, which
Deshaun Watson really?
Before Deshaun Watson ended up being the first quarterback
in the 4th. Come on.
Okay,
Tom Brady, give me a break.
So to
fight this computer.
Mixon went off. Kenyon Drake, Alex. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's interesting. We lost. Let's see. 5 quarterbacks went in between our pick.
Stupid.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson went first out of the bunch. Then Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. Then what wide receivers? We lost Juju. Demaryius went. Michael Crabtree, Marvin Jones, Jordy Nelson, Jameson Crowder. Running backs that went off: Mixon, Freeman, Kenyon Drake, Alex Collins, Mark Ingram, and Tarek Cohen went in the 5th round. Which
I'll be completely honest. I know we're going off of 1 year, but Robert Woods to me as our wide receiver 3, that's a slam fucking dunk, man. I mean, that is slam dunk.
I do like that. That's it, especially with the wide receivers. That's would be our wide receiver 3, like you said, and I think Robert Woods could be a wide receiver 2.
I think he can put up wide receiver 1 numbers, and I think that when you've got a guy like Stephon Diggs who is an injury risk, if you can have a guy that is solid like Robert Woods was last year, it eases that pain a lot. Because when you're at full, can you imagine all 3 of those wide receivers going off? I mean, you're winning the week.
Yeah. Do you worry at all that they brought in Brandon Cooks and he's had a full offseason to get used to the playbook? Last year they brought in Sammy Watkins, but they didn't really have him. He didn't have time to get acclimated to the playbook.
I will tell you right now, I don't care if you put him on the greatest team in the world. Brandon Cooks is whatever. He doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
All right. Well,
he is good for 1 catch for 90 yards. No.
Let me ask you one other question, because who has the bigger upside though, Brent? Robert Woods or Corey Davis? Because
bigger upside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen it from Robert Woods. I mean, I kind of like Robert Woods here also. Corey Davis. I mean, we just really haven't seen it yet.
Honestly, I think that Corey Davis we might even get later if we wanted.
You think?
I mean, I don't honestly. I was really excited about Tennessee, and they were healthy. I mean, Corey Davis wasn't, but they were healthy and still not doing very well. I don't know if I really want a lot to do with Tennessee's offense this year. They really scared me off.
Yeah. That's so we're really choosing with those wide receivers, looking at Robert Woods. That's pretty much the only guy you like out of that bunch. Julian Edelman's still there, Pierre Garcon, Sammy Watkins, Devin Funchess. I'm just trying to think if we're losing 4 players before our next pick.
I just think that having Robert Woods as a number 3 is a fantastic grab.
Yeah. Brent, you agree then?
I kind of actually lean more Derrick Henry here.
Oh, man.
Really?
I mean, I lean Derrick Henry as a great option to fill in when Barkley or Kareem Hunt, maybe one of them just doesn't pan out. But Derrick Henry, man, we've seen him explode when he gets that starting opportunity.
You're so right. And he's the last of the top 20 running backs.
Mark Ingram and Tariq Cohen, they were taken before Derrick Henry.
Okay, Tariq Cohen, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry's still out there.
Why would anybody like Tariq Cohen? What, he had like 400 yards last year, if that.
I think it's just more hype of what people think Nagy's going to do with him.
Yeah,
honestly, like right now, I'd be trading, and if I owned him, well, I do own him in Dynasty, but I'd be trying to trade him because his hype is huge right now. I'm good taking Derrick Henry if you want. I'm good taking Robert Woods too. Alex, why don't you make the pick?
Let's go Derrick Henry.
All right. So we're taking a bench player before our last starter. Only 1% of the experts agree that's the right pick.
Well, I mean, the one thing though is that you're looking for the best player available.
Right.
And he is the best player available. And sometimes you do that simply because either, it bolsters, an important, section of players.
Mm-hmm.
Also, trade bait. Always think about trade bait.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this is a redraft league, so the trades aren't quite as heavily weighted, but still, I mean, you've got to be considering that.
Yeah.
And Robert Woods is still there.
Yeah. So that ended up being a great pick. Carson Wentz went, Hunter Henry went, which we just found out he tore his ACL, so he will not be going there. And then Drew Brees and Dez Bryant, who still doesn't have a home. Would you ever consider drafting Dez Bryant over Robert Woods?
No.
I mean, I thought about it, but I was like, I don't want to mock draft a guy who's still a free agent.
Yeah, no go. No go.
Yeah, it's scary. I say kind of the slam dunk pick there is Robert Woods.
Absolutely. I mean, you still get the guy that we were talking about, and you had the guy that, would just be an amazing bench player. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Slam dunk.
You guys feel good about it? Let's go ahead and do it. Because that rounds out. I don't like having to worry about filling out starting lineups first. Like, I don't feel like you should draft that way. Like you kind of said, you take the best available, kind of like a real draft. And, us adding Derrick Henry to our bench and then still getting the wide receiver that we would take, I think that's a huge win. Stafford went, Chris Thompson, Jimmy Graham, Geis, another rookie wide receiver or running back off there, Edelman, Chris Hogan, Devin Funchess, James White, Sammy Watkins, Pierre Garcon, and then looks like a run of quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins, Andrew Luck, Jimmy Garoppolo went off. Corey Davis went off right before we picked again.
Oh, that would have been great.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. We're looking at the top running backs available: Deion Lewis, Jay Ajayi still there.
Why does that say cuff?
Because so they also put it on there. We have Derrick Henry. They consider Deion Lewis
handcuff.
a handcuff because I think that they'll both have value, FYI. But
okay, hold up. You're moving.
You want to see wide receivers, or do you want to see running backs?
I kind of want to see what they're
Overall?
considering best available. Yeah. Well, okay, so Jai and Deion Lewis.
Oh shoot, that really jumped far. Sorry. Because then after that, it goes all the way down to Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, Delaney Walker, tight end. There's been a lot of tight ends going off. I'm fine waiting on tight end though.
Where are we at? Sorry, where are we at on tight ends though? Like, where are we at on the list?
We have, let's see, 8 of them have gone off the board. Jack Doyle, Jimmy Graham, Greg Olsen.
Honestly, I'm fine like holding on. I mean, we got guys like OJ Howard that are down there, Njoku. I mean, I'm cool with continuing to wait a little bit. I mean, Delaney Walker is kind of a scary pick this year. I know that he's been very consistent. He's one of my men, one of my guys. But there is going to be that drop off because of his age. And it's scary. It's scary to get a guy like that because you almost have to start thinking, should I have a backup? And then you're starting to carry extra tight ends. That's not always optimal.
No, you're right. I know we just drafted our first bench running back. I kind of like going Jay Ajayi there.
I think the value is great.
Yeah.
Getting Ajayi, even as a fourth running back, like the value at that pick right there is just too tremendous to pass up.
It is.
I would rather take him over any of the wide receivers right now.
Yeah.
Like Cooper Kupp, and we just drafted Robert Woods.
Yeah.
So we're probably looking at like Cooper Kupp, Devonta Freeman, Nelson Aguilar, Randall Cobb, Marquise Lee.
Yeah.
Let's take Jay Ajayi and see what happens, because they don't even want us to take Jay Ajayi. He's not up there at the top ones. Let's draft him. That puts us. God, this running back team is pretty freaking solid, though.
I know. Honestly, so far, I'm loving our team. I love it.
This is an Alex team, except for Stephon Diggs. So
I was a huge Robert Woods fan when it was like second or third season. I just lost his name. Emmanuel. Because Sanders? When he was in, Robert Woods was really good. I mean, he was basically the only thing that gave Emmanuel any pop at all.
Okay, so after we took Ajayi, Duke Johnson went, Randall Cobb went, Ronald Jones went, Carlos Hyde gone. So we're looking at Devontae Parker still there, which with Landry out of there,
I don't know. Parker is just one of those players that is frustrating, and they still have Stills, don't they?
Yeah, Stills is still there, and there's a lot of people like Stills more than Parker.
Well, the thing is that even when Parker is out there and doing well, Stills will get like a 90-yard catch, and Stills is a frustrating player to still be on Miami. If he was gone, I'd feel a lot better about Parker. But yeah. I don't really want anything to do with it. I just don't.
So
honestly, if we're thinking about grabbing somebody that's going to be a backup, I like Aguilar. I mean,
I kind of like Marquise Lee. He's going to be the number one in Jacksonville. I know it's Blake Bortles throwing him the ball, but I mean, he's going to get most of the targets, I think, there. I mean, I don't see much competition behind Marquise Lee.
Okay, but if he's getting a majority of the 100 yards that Bortles has, is that really anything? I mean, there was no wide receiver last year that was consistently good in Jacksonville because of the quarterback play. I don't know like that. I understand he's a number one, but I would rather go with the number 3 that gets touchdowns and lots of catches on a really good team than a guy that is kind of accidentally the number 1 on a team that can't pass at all.
Yeah, so you'd rather take him than like a Robbie Anderson, kind of like another.
Robbie Anderson scares me because he keeps getting arrested.
Yeah. Will Fuller, Sterling Shepard.
I mean, Sterling Shepard. I mean, I think that's the same kind of player as Aguilar, and Aguilar's better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just looking at all those players right there. You know, Cooper Kupp, Parker, Anderson, Shepard, Fuller, Aguilar, Goodwin, Benjamin Lee, and I think that Aguilar is the best. That's not even a homer pick. That's just legitimate. Like, I would do that if he wasn't an Eagle.
Yeah, Brent, you want to make the pick?
I would still choose either Marquise Lee or Devontae Parker if I had to choose here.
Make the pick. It's you.
Take it.
Actually, give me Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker. Ooh. I'm okay with that. Like, Alex is not okay with it.
Gonna burn you, Brent. Just like you burned me for 2 seasons.
It's his breakout year.
Forever. He just hates me.
I feel like if he does not break out this year, it's done. Like,
you know how many players have been in Miami? I mean, like it's like, oh, this is going to be the guy other than Landry, and then it's frustrating to watch these guys.
Yeah,
I don't. To me, he is the what was that? Hunter from he was on Tennessee. I'm totally losing his name.
Justin Hunter?
What?
Justin Hunter?
Justin Hunter, yeah. He reminds me so much of Justin Hunter. Like, just all this talent, like a big size, like should be a touchdown machine and just can't put it together. Like, that's why was there a guy that looked like he was Jack Sparrow? Who was that?
Jack Sparrow?
I swear to God, I just saw
Will
Jack
Fuller.
Sparrow.
Will Fuller.
Will Fuller looks like Jack Sparrow. Crazy.
Was that who it was?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So Nelson Aguilar is still there.
Yeah. So I'm not going to name off all these people that went. Are there any surprising ones? We talked about Sterling Shepard. He went right after our pick. Yeah, lots of running backs went.
And lots of kind of, I mean, like just a few of the interesting ones. I'm interested in Royce Freeman. Sony Michel, what are they going to do? Marlon Mack might be an interesting one.
Yeah,
that could be a real high value pick right there, I think. And start the 9th round. You got your number 1 running back from Indianapolis. I mean, that's a pretty nice pick.
That's not bad. Rex Burkhead, Aaron Jones, Theo Riddick. So,
I don't think that, okay, if Sony Michel is going in the 8th round, Rex Burkhead does not belong in the
9th.
Honestly, I'm surprised how high James White went. It's like, okay, they drafted a running back in the 1st round. I don't think that they're super happy with James White.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You can't imagine that they are. They, like you said, they draft him in the 1st round. That's not something that the Patriots normally do.
Yeah.
So no quarterbacks went in between that pick. We're now in the 10th or the 9th round, into the 9th. Everybody has their quarterbacks. I don't think that we even consider a quarterback here.
I think you could still wait on quarterback and tight end for at least another round. I mean, we have another pick here and 4 picks where we evaluate. But
okay, so does everyone have a quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
So over on the top left hand here, you can see that 11 out of 12 teams have.
Okay.
Everybody's filled their.
I just honestly, I'm looking at that and I'm seeing Jared Goff, and I'm thinking that's who I want quarterback in my team.
So are you going to be disappointed if Jared Goff goes? You still got Roethlisberger, Rivers, Winston, Matt Ryan still there.
I don't want Matt Ryan. Are you serious?
I mean, Jared Goff had one good year, so I'm just saying that I don't think it's that. It's
Jared
not that
Goff-
big of a.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think that's that much of an outreach. Like I don't. He's only had one good year. Yes, it was exciting.
Take your finger off Dak Prescott. I don't even want to hear a discussion of that name. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
That was an accident.
Okay,
Sure was.
sure, accidents. Okay. I mean, if you guys want to wait a little bit longer, I'm totally cool with that.
I think there's enough quality starting quarterbacks out there right now that we can still wait.
Like
I would love to have Winston. I would love to have Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes. Even you could maybe get him like as your second quarterback.
That's what I was thinking. Like if
Derek Carr is still out there,
if you could get a Jared Goff and then have like a Mahomes or even maybe a Trubisky, something along those lines, I think that would be interesting. So what do we go here then? Or, I mean, do we go and grab Aguilar, or are we? I mean, if we're not going tight end or quarterback, I don't see any quality running back. So I feel like we have to go wide receiver again.
What about
grab Aguilar?
Do you think that there's any chance that Nick Chubb takes the running back position in Cleveland? Nick Chubb's still there. I kind of think that that's a high upside pick.
It is.
Is it in the realm of we should do that now?
He's the 121st overall player. So it would kind of be, we have 4 picks until it's ours. We're at the 9-10. So you're looking at Aguilar probably. What are the other wide receivers?
Do you think that we need to grab Chubb here? I mean, do you think that he'll be gone by the time that it swings back to us?
Probably not.
I kind of want to roll the dice and see what happens.
See if he comes back. Well, if we don't take him, who are we going to pick then? Because your other running backs are Jamal Williams, Kerryon Johnson, Isaiah Crowell, Bilal Powell.
I honestly think that we take Aguilar.
Take Aguilar and see what happens.
Yeah, I think
based on our current roster construction, we should build the depth at wide receiver. So
take
Aguilar is probably the pick here for me too.
All right, I'm good with that. Take Aguilar. Our team is all no wide receiver one, but a lot of depth.
I love this team so far. I'm a big fan of it.
I like it too. So
theoretically, by mathematics, Nick Chubb should come back to us, but we'll see.
Yeah, he should. And I don't know if I would take Carlos Hyde over Nick Chubb, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't. In actuality, yes, he's supposed to go above him, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll take him. You know what I mean?
All right, so Josh Doxson went, Dede Westbrook went, Isaiah Crowell went, and Kyle Rudolph. So,
oh wait, okay, I got turned around. I thought that we were okay.
Yeah. So we still don't have a tight end. We have filled out how many of our bench spots? 4 of them. So we still got 2 bench spots left.
Yep.
Do you think we consider tight end yet? Like Trey Burton still there? Trey Burton's probably the best. Jordan Reed, George Kittle, or I don't know. There's still 2, us and one other team that don't have a tight end yet. So,
I still like a lot of those tight ends on the.
Yeah,
I feel like I could keep waiting on tight end and go with whoever's left at the very end.
Yeah,
almost the same way with quarterback though too. There's still tons of quarterbacks out there. I don't mind waiting.
I know Alex wants to take Goff.
I mean, if we're going quarterback, I just feel like Goff is the play.
So we're into the 10th round now. Do you think that Nick Chubb has a high enough upside that because then we only have one bench spot left. So
I don't know. I can see Brent, what are you thinking about on quarterback?
There's still so many quality starters out there. Like Nick Chubb, I feel like we don't need him really, but like it just fills our team in even more with depth.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get a terrible grade at the very end for having missed a backup quarterback or something.
Yeah. And I don't really care about draft grades, but wide receiver wise, you still got Rashard Matthews, you got DJ Moore, Alan Hearns in Dallas, like Calvin Ridley in Atlanta, Cameron Meredith in New Orleans.
I mean, I'm not really like, I feel like we've already.
I'm not feeling any of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much thinking Jared Goff? Is that what you want to do? You want to go ahead and take the quarterback here and.
I mean,
I mean, with Nick Chubb, it feels like you might be getting a starter in Cleveland.
Right. Yeah. And we already have
in the 10th round.
Just go Chubb. Let's go Chubb. Let's roll. I mean, there's plenty. Like Brent said, there are plenty of quarterbacks. Everybody has a starting quarterback. Let's roll the dice.
Okay, because I think that our running backs are outstanding. 0% of the experts agree that Nick Chubb's the right pick. So. So like I said, we have one bench spot left now. Tight end, a quarterback, and then the throwaways. We are probably going to be. I don't know. I'm curious to see if a bunch of quarterbacks go here. Chris Godwin, a bunch of wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson, Kenny Stills, Marquise Goodwin, Rashard Matthews. Foreman.
I'm surprised how late Foreman is going.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people talking with his Achilles coming back from that they're scared that he's not going to come back right, though.
Oh, it was an Achilles injury? I thought it was an ACL.
I think Lamar Miller's kind of getting slept on.
Oh, my God. You've got to be kidding me. How can you sleep on garbage?
Because you can get him late.
It wasn't that late. It was like the 5th round.
He went in the 5th in this one?
I thought so.
I mean, you could be right. If he goes in the 5th, that's way too early. If you can get him in like the 7th or 8th, though. All right, so Jared Goff's still there. No quarterbacks went. It was all wide receivers and running backs. So,
let's get him, baby. Let's get my boy.
We only have four picks until us, so
we might not know where the sun rises and sets.
It doesn't matter.
That's my boy. He's gonna throw 300 yards a game.
So looking at the tight ends, what tight end do you like the most out of that group right there?
Trey Burton.
Yeah, Trey Burton. Is it a big jump, or does he separate himself from all the other ones?
To me, he is going to go a lot later, but he could be a top 5 tight end, I think, without question.
He's going
to especially if Hunter Henry's done for the season. I think that opens it up for him to be a top tight end.
I agree. So do you risk losing him? We got 4 picks.
You
risk it.
You got OJ Howard. You got Kittles and Bits is down there. We just
see. I like Burton way more than all those other ones. I take Burton because I don't think that there's that big of a gap between the quarterbacks.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, I love Trey Burton.
Brent, what do you think?
Champion Trey Burton.
I've always been favorable towards Jordan Reed, but I also realize his injury history and know that you
This
only get him for a few games a year.
this is insane to see just a couple years removed.
Yep.
Jordan Reed was talked about as maybe being on the same level of Gronk.
Yep.
Like,
But that's what I
being
mean,
able to
though. Like
be on
when
that
he's
tier, and now we're talking about him being behind Jack Doyle.
It's crazy.
Okay, and
when
first
he's
off,
on the field,
Trey Burton should not be behind Jack Doyle.
Especially with Ebron there now too.
Jack
Yeah.
Doyle is like, I don't know what the game manager version of a tight end is, but that's Jack Doyle. Like, about
Very
the most
true.
boring tight end you could possibly have.
All right, Brent. So we're really looking at Jared Goff, Trey Burton, Jordan Reed. I think are the 3 picks right there. Out of those 3 guys, who do you want to take?
we could take Jared Goff. I'm fine with that.
No, I've jumped ship.
Yeah,
I'm
back.
Trey Burton.
All right, let's. I like Trey
we
Burton
can
too.
take Trey
So.
Burton.
Trey Burton? Is he?
Trey Burton. Yes, he's Swedish.
I like it because I still just the depth at quarterback. I agree with you totally. Like, why would you take it? And every time, like, I get to like the 4th or 5th round, I'm like, oh my god, Aaron Rodgers is still there.
Yeah,
I have to take him. You don't have to take him.
No, you don't.
And this is exactly why. Like, because you get into those situations, you're like, oh my god, I do. I have to take him. How can I let him go?
You
don't let him go because we're.
Sorry. Like, I was just kind of going by. Big Ben has been at the top of our thing this whole time, and that's what happens. People will fill up their team to grab that quarterback, that elite quarterback, and you've got guys like Big Ben, Jared Goff. You've got Derek Carr is only a year removed from a very good year, and is where's Stafford?
Oh, Stafford's still on there. Oh, no, he went. Matt Stafford's
gone.
9th. He's gone.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you got Phillip Rivers, who actually put together a complete season last year, shockingly. You've got, like I said, Derek Carr. You could take a little bit of a risk on a Trubisky. But, I mean, look, we're getting into the 11th, 12th round, and we still have available the number 10 quarterback.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, guys, don't take a quarterback early.
Yeah, this is the perfect reason why not to.
Even we're going back and forth. I wanted to take Jared Goff, 3 rounds ago? He's still freaking there. Just pump the brakes. Don't get panicked because the quarterback is still going to be there. You're still going to have a quarterback.
Let's take him.
Let's get him.
Brent, I'm not even asking you. I'm sorry.
You should take him.
Perfect.
Our team is awesome. I am in love. In love.
That's the good and bad thing about mock drafts.
Oh, wish it was real.
I want to play every draft I do out.
I know.
I'd have 300 teams, and I'd be completely fine with it. I've already done probably 15 mock drafts this offseason.
I need to do it on this. This is fantastic. I really like this. I've never done it before on this.
I'm surprised you never used it. Roethlisberger, Rivers went. Jameis Winston went. Tyler Eifert gone. We have our whole starting lineup now, so we got one bench spot to fill, then the kicker in the defense, which who cares? DJ Moore went. Ted Ginn went. Your boy Corey Clement.
Oh man, I love him so much.
Alan Hearns just went. Jordan Matthews in New England. That Jordan Matthews could be sneaky good this year.
No. Don't.
I know I can't. I'm in love. I know. I don't want to love him, but like falling, that's not a bad situation for him to be in with, there's targets opened up there. Yeah, sorry. What do you want to look at?
I just wanted to. Can you go back up real quick?
Yeah.
This is another. We just kind of talked about the quarterback thing. Tight end is another one. OJ Howard. This is a first round tight end. They're gonna get him the ball on a very high octane offense. Young offense. I mean, it's like you can wait on tight ends as well. You can wait on that because OJ Howard is a quality tight end. He might not be, at the level that you are used to, but I think through the season he's going to build up.
OJ.
I mean, yeah. What do we have left? What?
We literally have one bench spot left, and then a kicker in the defense. So Spencer Ware, it'd be a handcuff. I don't know. I don't think we need the handcuff. Kareem Hunt.
Not with how deep we are at running back.
Doug Martin. Amir Abdullah. All my players are still there.
All your players.
I can't. Matt Ryan's still there. Like, you could take Matt Ryan with last. That's just insane how quickly and how deep quarterback is. Wide receivers, Michael Gallup. As far as rookies go, a lot of upside. Anthony Miller, tons of upside there.
I like that pick.
Tyler Lockett. Anthony Miller was my last pick of my last mock draft. I did my very last pick.
The thing is that a lot of these rookie wide receivers are only good in dynasty drafts because you're not going to get the full potential of a player within wide receivers. Like you're just kind of hoping that you hit that juju. You're hoping that you hit the
I know
Beckham,
who I would draft.
I like Mike Williams there.
Yes, that is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I love Mike Williams here.
Top 10 pick.
Huge upside. First round pick. Exactly. And he's healthy now.
Okay. I'm fine with it. I mean, I think that it's awesome that, you go from Keenan Allen at number 1, but you've got this number 1 pick that you can get in the 13th round. That's fantastic.
That's nuts. Keenan Allen going to 108 is if he's been injured before. You know what I mean?
All of a sudden he could be seeing all those targets that Allen was getting. That's a high value pick that could turn out to be, you could end up with a top 24 wide receiver,
Absolutely. Yep. That's perfect. I think that's a great pick. Now it's just a kicker and defense, which we don't. I don't even know if we really need to talk about it.
Don't even care.
Just take your favorite and call it a day.
I mean, I have no idea how long we've been on, but it's definitely over an hour.
Yeah, we're over an hour, so I'm sorry. It took a little bit longer. We'll get better at it. I think we're at an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 7 minutes.
That's not bad.
Not bad. No, not terrible, but that wraps it up. I wanted to see our grade. I really wanted to see how the other team shaped up, because that's the only bad thing with me having both windows open. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to flip between the other teams, because one thing I like to do is look at the other teams and see what positions they have. I felt like we really didn't do that too much on this one. They've got the position tracker right at the top, which is nice, but it would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Take the Eagles defense. You good with that?
Yep.
I would probably take the Chargers defense there if it was me, but that pick was in honor of Alex.
Don't they have a rough secondary though?
Chargers?
Oh, no. They spent a first round pick on Derwin James as a safety.
I guess that's true.
Oh, they're good.
Joey Bosa last year.
Well, I know that they've got a good front, but I thought that it was pretty easy to pass on them.
No. They've got what's the other dude's name?
Desmond King.
They're pretty good. I think their defense is going to be stellar this year. But that's don't reach and take Jacksonville. No. I know people are going to want to do that this year. Don't do it. It's stupid. Let some other bozo take them in the 12th round while you're getting players like Mike Williams, Jared Goff, and Trey Burton.
Oh, snap.
What?
You're right. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, completely right. Because somebody will reach up and take them, and it makes no sense. And our kicker, Brent, who do you want to be our kicker?
Can I see more?
Yeah, of course you can see more. You just want to attach to the highest scoring offense.
Pretty much.
And I pass him. Where the kicker's at? I don't even know. Oh, there we go. Chris Boswell from Pittsburgh.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the best available.
Yeah, I don't like any of the other guys.
Yeah, you want to go Boswell?
Yeah,
I think Pittsburgh could score a ton of points this year, even though Ben Roethlisberger is a jerk and yells at Mason Rudolph. Let's you want to analyze those results? Well, I think that was successful. I think that we had a killer team. It ended never mind. I'm not creating an account. So our team ended up being Jared Goff at quarterback, Barkley and Hunt at running back, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Robert Woods, our 3 starting wide receivers, Trey Burton is our starting tight end, and then our bench is Derrick Henry, Jay Ajayi, Nick Chubb, and then Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar, and Mike Williams. That team's got a lot of upside. Like, it's a huge ceiling team.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And it's a pretty high floor team too. Like,
yeah, honestly, that's the thing, is that I'm not nervous about it day one, and there's a lot of opportunity for some of those other players to shine, and that, if there's an injury or something along those lines, you have those players that you can maybe trade, do something with. That's why I have a real hard time with redraft leagues, because I don't really pick players anymore thinking, oh, I don't have them next year. Like, I almost always think that way. And then I'm like, oh gosh, I've got this guy, he's blowing up, sitting on my bench, which would be great, but I don't have a dynasty. So,
Yep. That was a good time. It was fun. So I really, next show, honestly, we're gonna do those rookie wide receivers. We have to.
Yeah, we'll talk about them.
And I'm curious to see your guys' ranks on them, because I was going through them, and there's a lot of them. Just they're all kind of muddled together. So
they are. I don't think that there are. We'll get into it, but I don't really see a big gap. You know what I mean? Like, I think that we're kind of looking at just a group of guys, and we're waiting to see how they're going to shake out.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping out and listening, guys. Hop on Twitter, follow us, 4 Horsemen Pod. Send us emails, 4horsemenpod@gmail.com. If you have dynasty drafts, send us questions. It's the season, and this is the most fun part. The excitement leading up to it is like looking forward to Christmas. So like your drafts are your Christmas days, and you can have 100 Christmas days. So get out there and do it. We will see you guys in the next couple weeks. So peace.